Welcome once again to the 5-minute movement. Just 5 minutes to get us moving in all sorts of ways. So some of you might have done part 1 of what I'm about to do today. So just to briefly review, part 1 was all about reaching up, and then this would be the top of a jumping type position, and then coming down into a squatted position. Reaching up, and then referencing my lower position in a squatted position. I might lift my heels and drive down to really catch in this squatted position so that I'm having to practice absorbing energy and the collaboration of the hip, knees, ankles, spine, and even arms in getting myself down. So I'm driving my hands down to give myself more of a challenge in terms of absorbing energy. I could do it like this, and that's a great practice, but it's not the best practice if I want to begin to hop, skip, or jump again, because I do want to learn how to absorb that energy. So if you've done part 1, let's try a different stance. So now I'm going to bring one foot back in a split stance. My heel is lifted, and it is, you can see it's in line with my forefoot. I'm not turning it out, and I'm not turning it in. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to reach up. My front foot is, for the time being, on the floor, and then I'm just going to reference my low position in a squat, up, low position in a little bit of a squat. Doesn't need to be as low as what I'm doing. And remember, with a squat, the tailbone goes down, up and down. And then I can look at coming up, maybe coming up on my tiptoes on both sides, and now coming down with a little bit more oomph and catching, coming up and coming down with a little more oomph, catching and absorbing the downward momentum. Looking at how in this different orientation, my hips, knees, and ankles can collaborate. And then I might try the other side, coming into my split stance, my heels stacked over my forefoot. And first of all, leaving the sole of the front foot down, just referencing my high position and my low position. To start off with, I'm not using momentum because I want to reference the positions in a less challenging way to start. And then I can add a little bit more something to them. So once I have the pattern, I can try lifting both heels off and coming down with a little more speed. Try lifting both heels off, coming down with a little more speed. Up and down. Up and down. You could even really try pushing the arms down to give yourself even more of a sense of what you need to do to absorb energy. But don't rush to that. Give yourself time to adapt. Speaking of which, I will offer one more option, which is to go closer to a full single-legged version. So now single-legged does not mean that my free leg has to be fully lifted. It can be lightly tapping down with the toes of the other foot. So now it's very, very similar. I reach up to my top position, and then I can find my bottom position. I reach up, reference the top position, and then reference the squat. To start off with, I'm not going fast. I'm just finding my reference points. And now for this one, I would suggest you not come up off your toes, onto your toes, but just reach up and down with more speed. Because you can see it takes a little bit more balance. Just with a little bit more speed to come down to reference that position. So this is going to actually help you in a whole bunch of ways, not the least of which being, now that you're working the single leg, you're having to express more strength in that leg as well. Now, of course, after you've practiced a few with the heel down, you can maybe try to lift the heel just a little bit and come down. So it doesn't have to be much. So you can see I can do just a little bit of a heel lift and come down. But before I come down, I'm looking for stability in that top position. So I find my stability and then I come down. And of course I have a whole other side. So first of all, I'm just going to reference the two positions. And then I might add a little bit of momentum so that I have to manage the forces of deceleration. Absorbing energy into my body through the collaboration of the joints. And you don't need to go as big as I'm going. This can be big enough for you. It doesn't have to be big at all. You're just practicing getting the joints collaborating and absorbing only as much energy as you can absorb, which will not be the same as the next person and not be the same as me. Then of course I can play with a little more speed, or I can play with, I can play with lifting my heel and a fast drop. So there's a whole bunch of options for you to play with to build on part one of basically preparing the joints and the coordination of our body as we begin to think about maybe in the future, perhaps leaving the ground just a little bit. All right, I hope that you enjoyed that, and I look forward to moving again with you soon. Bye now.